Well, hello folks. Welcome to another episode of Whiskey Colin here. I thought I would do a little bit of an episode about peated scotch. Just recently went out and bought this new one I haven't tried before. This is Elements of Islay, Bourbon Cask. You guys can look at that there, and we'll open it up and kind of do a first cork open, and be exciting to see it. And then I'm going to kind of compare and contrast it with one of my favorite peated scotches. That's the Ardbeg Uigeadail. They're both right around the same, ABV, so that's going to be fun. Which is right around that 54-55% range. So this one here is 54.5 exactly. I think it says here. Yep, 54.5, and the Uigeadail is 54.2. So it's about as close as you can get. So maybe just let you guys know what it says here on the box here. It says Islay blended malt Scotch whiskey, and so it's got maturation in bourbon casks, distilled and bottled in Scotland. Head blender is Oliver Shilton. It says Elements of Islay range comprises 3 core expressions: cask edit, bourbon cask, and sherry cask. Each recipe has been created through the art of blending small batches of Islay single malt to accentuate the different characters of Islay's elemental spirit. And so, what it's talking about here is the bourbon one is a marriage of bourbon casks. So not saying too much else here. There's a little bit of marketing here and fun stuff about kind of where it was and different things like coordinates and stuff. But hey, let's take a look at this bottle here. I've never tried this before. I don't even know what this bottle looks like, to be honest. So that'll be fun. Hope you guys got some peated scotch yourself. Okay, yeah, that's a good looking. Interesting looking bottle, kind of almost a medicinal look to it. There it is, folks. Let's see if it says anything else in the bottle here, generally speaking. Kind of the same as on the box for the most part here. Yeah, it doesn't really say anything. Oh, it does have a little bit of information here additional. Bourbon cask classic rich barbecue smoke from a South Coast Islay distillery combines with more subtle, zesty flavor from the North Coast. This is bottled at higher strength to showcase the whiskey's natural personality. Interesting. Okay. Well, folks, let's give this a try. Wednesday night. Kind of a fun night tonight because I work from home tomorrow, for one day, right before going on a cruise for a week to the Caribbean. So looking forward to that big time. Right when there's a cold snap here. See if I can get this plastic off here. Yeah, man. Boy, it's really a bit of a bear to get this off. Hey, that's part of the fun of it, right, folks? Like, if it's too easy, then it's too easy, right? You appreciate it more when there's a little bit of a struggle. Okay, yeah, I kind of like the look of this cap here. It's got a really nice sort of round wooden cap. Let's see if we can get a good cork pop here, folks. Oh, not too bad. Not super loud, but could have been better, I guess. Oh, wow, yeah. Yeah. Let's see what it smells like in the glass. First pour, just poured it out real quick here. But let's see what we're getting. Yeah, I'm getting a real deep, rich honey smoke, I would almost say. Kind of a honey smoke with a little bit of barbecue. You know what? And the bourbon is definitely coming out. Like, you know, if you have a bourbon flavored barbecue sauce, put it on some ribs or something. I'm getting a lot of that right now. Ironically, it almost reminds me a little bit of a lighter version, more of a honey version of Smokehead Sherry Bomb. Really, but really expressive nose. Not boring at all. A lot of push to it. Let's see what it tastes like, folks. Should also mention, this does say non-chill filtered and natural color. And actually, there's a little flavor profile I missed on here too, just succinctly on the bottle. It says coal smoke, tropical fruit, and maple syrup. And yeah, I'm definitely getting a very much a smoky barbecue sauce. Almost a slight, I mean, in terms of texture, it's sort of mid-range. It's not super thick, but not overly thin either, right sort of in the middle. It's almost got a little hint of a plasticiness in it though, and sometimes I will say that I really like a slight plasticiness in some whiskeys. Sometimes I mean in a good way. This time I'm not so sure if I'm quite meaning it in a good way. It's got something going on that's just a little bit, just, I don't know, artificial, almost like a, yeah, artificial plastic or pleather or something, kind of aftertaste or finish to it. Let's have another sip. I know this is a very interesting combination. Maybe some of those tropical fruits it mentioned on the bottle are kind of coming out a little bit. And that mixed with a fairly smoky, peated flavor with some additional sweetness. They may say maple syrup in here. So you start to mix that, some of those bourbon notes from the bourbon casks in with some maple syrup and the smoke. You're going to get kind of a bourbon flavored barbecue sauce in a way, right? Maybe a sweet and sour bourbon flavored rib sauce or something. But then there's sort of this tropical fruit note that is maybe a little bit confusing. Just that, usually I don't recall too often trying different peated whiskeys where a tropical fruit comes out. Usually the peat is fairly overpowering in the flavor. This has sort of an interesting, it's very smoky, very, like I said, barbecue sweet in a way. But then there is some kind of fruit going on. But the texture is strange to me. The texture is almost, like I said, it's almost a little bit plasticky texture and taste, almost like you're kind of like layering your mouth a little bit with plastic afterwards. It's not, I gotta say, that part of it, I'm not absolutely in love with at this moment. Let's try another sip. Again, yeah, so when I smell it, kind of going for my third sip here, definitely getting kind of tropical fruit honey. So it's got some very interesting sweet notes all mixed in there. And I wasn't getting that plastickiness when I smell it per se, or I'm not. It's sort of a texture thing that then, texture and flavor thing a little bit. Yeah, third sip in, I'm still getting that kind of a really strange texture and finishing flavor as well. Interesting. Obviously it's a neck pour, just cracked it, first time trying it. Maybe it's something I ate recently. I was just sipping on a Delmore actually right before this. Maybe there's some sort of, reaction going on, but it's a little bit different. I'm not so sure I like that component of it yet. But let me clear my palate and then try the Uigeadail. That would be really interesting because I've always loved Uigeadail. It's got a very thick, rich texture to it. To me, it's very ashy and very thick, like I say. So it gives me interesting to see how this compares. Yeah, nothing like a nice peated scotch on a cold winter day, warm you right up. Yeah, this is literally the favorite scotch I've ever had. I find just a combination of the ashiness and the rich, thick texture. Just hangs around your mouth for a long time. And to me, it's always tasted a lot like smoldering ashes of a campfire. That's what it tastes like. The fire's been burning for quite a while. You sort of stop putting wood on it. It's just settling in, and it's just sort of fading out. The logs are sort of are kind of lit up with all the sparks that are lining them, and there's just sort of that ashy smoke kind of still coming off. That's exactly what Uigeadail tastes like to me. Just to me, amazing to get that taste. It's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I'm going to try this as a comparison. Yeah, so on the nose, it definitely, the elements of Islay is a little bit lighter, a little more of a honeyness going on. Yeah, and this is a little bit, I would say, on the nose, the Uigeadail, a little bit more ashy. Let's see what it tastes like. Hmm. Mm. Mm. the Yugadale flavor, it's just so deep and rich and just so eventful. It's a little bit, I would say there's a little bit more pepper and spice. It's hotter. Drink's hotter than the Elements of Islay, for sure. It's definitely got a longer finish. It's thicker viscosity. But definitely, I am still getting a little bit of that plasticky thing going on. So it must have been something I ate for dinner, or sometimes what did you eat that day, before? Maybe it's at Delmore. I've really been enjoying Delmore. I just finished the bottle, like just the last little bit of the bottle, about half an hour before I shot this. So maybe there's something in there that's sort of playing off my palate right now. So you might want to say, hey, ignore that plasticky comment on this one. That's probably something that's going on in my palate right now, because if I'm getting a little bit here, that's definitely a tell, because I've had Yugadale a lot. But there's no doubt, just the flavor explosion from Yugadale is just so much more powerful. It's spicy, it's hot, but extremely flavorful through the whole sip. Absolutely amazing. But this Elements of Islay, it's got some nice flavors to it. That combination of bourbon, syrup, if you will, honey, and then with a fairly rich smoked peated flavor, all kind of comes together fairly nice. I'm going to go back to it, and sometimes that'll kind of illuminate a few things. Sort of interesting. Definitely, when I go back to the Elements of Islay, definitely much thinner texture, a little bit more watery, if you will. It almost tastes like, it almost tastes quite light and thin compared to the Yugadale. And it doesn't drink near as hot either, which is quite amazing for, basically the same ABV here. And it's quite amazing how light this drinks for that. I'm trying to recall other peated scotches at 55 or so percent drinking this light. So that's interesting. So it just kind of depends what you like, right? I like a little bit more punch if I'm going to be drinking that high ABV, but that's just me. So anyways, folks, thought I'd give you my thoughts on this. Totally initial thoughts on this one. This one I drank a lot over the years, so really know what this tastes like. This one is interesting. I'm trying to find some comparatives. I kind of mentioned Smokehead Sherry Bomb, maybe a little bit. Maybe Port Charlotte, heavily peated, a little bit. Those are a couple comparatives that just come to mind. Maybe a Peat Monster. Compass Box Peat Monster. Maybe sort of in that sort of a range would be what I would kind of compare this to. But anyways, folks, thought I'd say hi and give you my thoughts on these, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the evening, and as we settle into winter. Have a good night, everybody.